6:23 a.m. Monday, March 7th, 2022. Since the last video, there have been one failed and one aborted attempt at videos. Tonight was interesting. It snowed. But before it snowed, it sleeted. It wasn't exactly slick, but it was slushy, and there was a brief period. I had one run that was real hazardous. And then I turned on four-wheel drive, and everything was good. Until I drove over some big potholes that were hidden by snow that I think may have popped a U-joint on my four-wheel drive. So the thing that I just repaired and replaced is probably going to have to get taken out and redone again. Also had an unruly customer tonight. Just suffice to say, dude thought he was playing a funny game because he was aware of a not really game that I play, which is to call early and tell them I'm there or nearly there so they will get their butt in gear and get downstairs so I don't have to stand and wait for 5 to 10 minutes for someone to come down and not tip me. Running a V8 with four-wheel drive in snow tonight. And the guy comes down with a $100 bill for a $45 order. And I was like, I can't break that. You know we don't take those. Oh, hang on, I'll go see. I was like, I don't appreciate having my time wasted. I'm losing money because I could be getting tips at other places. Call the store when you have the right money. And then I went and filled my coffee up and figured either that guy was going to, he blew my employee phone app up. He doesn't have my number. And got a hold of the manager, and the guy was on the line there. And I said, cool. Tell him he needs to be in the lobby waiting for me when I get there, or I'm not going to wait. So I get done filling my coffee, I get this thing arranged, and I head back to this location. And this dude is shit-talking me, calling me names, cussing me the whole time. Trying to talk some smack about it, taking too long on the food. Then he called back after I left and said that because it had been almost an hour by that time that he should get the food remade, and they said no. Complaining about the amount of time, it was sleeting and snowing, four-wheel drive weather. And this dude was completely oblivious to that fact. How are you going to hand somebody a big bill at late night? That's ridiculous. Nobody does that. Nobody accepts that. When I returned, he had a puffy coat on, and he had it all pulled up on a hood over his head, like tight all the way down. He was trying to be intimidating, and he threatened to not pay me. And I was like, okay, which is it going to be? I either need the money or I'm leaving. And so then he gave me the money, and I already had the change ready and gave it to him. And then he had to count that because I told him how much it was and what the change was off of it, and there it is, and he wasn't listening. And went back, and I believe that phone number is now no longer allowed to order from our store. Dude was cussing me, threatening to not have the money, and it's like, dude, the guy was obviously high. He's on a college campus. He's probably got a gun because I think that $100 bill is because he's been fucking pushing weed. And this dude, anything he does at this point is going to cost him. And if he didn't give me the money and said screw it on the order like he was really wasting my time, that's 2 free pan pizzas of a type that I will totally eat. Like, I don't know who this guy thought he was. I don't know who this guy thought he was fucking with. And he tried to stare me down, and I just looked at him, blinked once, and he walked away. And he kept talking shit the whole time, and I just opened the door and left. It was the most ridiculous interaction. It was the only negative interaction of the night. I had one other stiff besides that guy. Everybody else was generous. For a Sunday night that was not particularly busy, I made out very well. The only other stiff that I had was one that I typically don't enjoy going to, but it was more concerned with the noise that my four-wheel drive had just started making on that run The dude at that house didn't tip, but he did invite me inside from the cold, and I said, no, it's all good because it's all, taken care of. Here you go, there you go. My goal is to get done with a non-tipping interaction as quickly as possible. There are people who simply do not tip. No matter what way you think you're going to try and get or whatever, they don't tip. And making money is the reason I'm out there doing this in my truck with parts breaking from doing it. So, but the other guy, he was totally cordial. There was not, there was no bullshit. There was no attitude. There were no funny mind games. And that's people that are maybe oblivious or maybe he has a ridiculously high standard for what gets a tip. I don't know. I also don't like going inside people's houses. So, yeah, it just, like, I got threatened by some asshole. And, I mean, it didn't ruin my night by any means. I did not appreciate the fact that the interaction happened at all. So yeah, it was weird out. Like, my truck's heavy enough to push down and squish through the slush, but at the same time, it was just moist and slick enough in such a way that the oils on the road could not float to the top of the slush. So they were still underneath, and it was still a little bit slick. But when I tried to break the tires loose and cut a cookie in the parking lot, all it did was accelerate along the track of the wheels, like traction. And at the moment, you can see the edge of where the snow has kind of fallen and slid. Even though it never quite really got cold enough for it to stick, it stuck. Now I have to figure out whether or not my truck's going to become undrivable and get that taken care of before it does. On top of what was already looking like was probably going to be getting the brakes done, doing the brakes, that is, on this set of days off. A full plate for sure. Hopefully there was a bunch of snow compacted up in the drive shaft area. Hopefully that was what was banging around and it wasn't actually, or maybe it was something to do with the four-wheel drive locking hubs in the front. Maybe they were banging around from the bumps. But whatever it was only doing it in 4, and when I kick it to two-wheel drive, it stopped doing it. There are some gnarly bumps. There has to have been some kind of a management and leadership change in the local municipality's road crew division, because somebody does not seem to know what they're doing. Stuff is bad, and I don't know if it's just lack of budget, lack of manpower, or what. The roads are terrible. Streets and roads, all terrible. Other than that, I have nothing much to report. Still, fog of war. All lies. Everything is a lie. Nothing is real. Taking life one day at a time. And this day now is a day that I don't have to work. I can stay up a bit. I can sleep until I wake up. And then I can go take a look at my truck. And everything else in the world can just heck straight off. That's all I got. It's so much dumb stuff going on, and more people should be obviously aware of it, and if they are obviously aware of it, they need to be saying something about it. Because everybody's saying hold up is the only way any of this shit stops. So, yeah, this is a nearly pointless video, but I haven't really had a channel update vlog in a while. Things are okay. The rain and wind did not destroy my house, nor did it cause my house to flood, even though I had a dream of that happening. Spring is just around the corner, though. Cats are good. The world is trash. That's what I keep coming back to. It totally sucks. I wish it wasn't that way. I wish it was something better. So, yeah, that's all I got for this video. Happy Monday, everyone. I'm going to take my Monday off.